Okay, I think we're going to get started here. I want to thank you all for coming. If you guys are wondering who the hell is that sitting next to Pat and Lizzy Musi, my name is Dan Schechner. I'm the editor of Performance Racing Industry Magazine, also with the PRI show. So what we've got here is a very special program, and this is something that we like to do as sort of a tradition for our show, and we're really honored to have Pat and Lizzy here this morning. You guys know, obviously, who we've got here. I'll give them a quick introduction, but Pat Musi from New Jersey, the age of 18 in 1970, started Pat's Speed Shop, went on to dominate NMCA Pro Street, NHRA Pro Mod, PDRA Pro Nitrous, everything, anything. Pat Musi Racing Engine is a worldwide brand, and we're just real honored to have him here. Seated next to Pat is his daughter Lizzy, PDRA Rookie of the Year in 2014, Pro Nitrous. She's fast, real fast. And on top of everything that she does on the track, she's also president of Musi Enterprises in Mooresville, North Carolina. So I want to welcome Pat and Lizzy Musi. So we're going to do kind of an informal thing here, and the idea is really to kind of get to know Pat and Lizzy and sort of the, what makes their business go and what makes them so successful. And we talked about some ideas and some things. And this morning I just thought, I want to know, first right off the bat, and either one of you can take this one, or maybe we'll start with Pat here. But I mean, you've been doing this for so long. What do you enjoy most about coming to work every day?
The work and the competitiveness, everything we're doing right now is really competitive. So I got my competitors that work hard, that I worry about and try to work on stuff better than theirs. And then I got the other ones that want to pick up the phone and find out what I'm doing. Yeah. You need to work. Bottom line is work ethic. I got that from my own man, got it from all the guys I grew up with. It's just about work. Yeah. Just get in there and just work on the stuff, and so that's what drives me, the competitiveness. And then, of course, I was in a unique situation. I had a business, we built engines, sold, but I also raced. So I was always competitive, always wanted to win, and was fortunate enough to win a lot of races. I've won in probably every category, Pro Stock, you mentioned Pro Street, Pro Mod, so pretty happy about that.
Yeah. Lizzy, what about you?
Oh boy. He's actually in the shop Monday through Sunday. He works nonstop. I mean, I look up to him because he's incredible at what he does. That knowledge he has, all those numbers, like talking about clearances and this and that. He's always talking to like all our manufacturers on the phone daily, how to make something better, this better, and I think that's awesome. Our customers mean everything to us, so we try to do our best to make them happy. And I love racing. I grew up around it. Been around it my whole life. I just love coming into the shop. It's just, I don't know, just been around it my whole life, so it's just in me. But actually moving to Mooresville was a big difference. I think it did great for us. It's just the racing city right there. We get a lot of NASCAR tech kids come in, and it's pretty cool to see racing people just come in the door and take shop tours and stuff like that. So I think it's pretty neat, and we have a couple of kids on board helping us out in the shop, and they love it. They think it's really cool. Yeah. But what I love most about is keeping our customers happy, and we had really awesome 2 years, and all our customers are pretty thrilled about their deal they had previous years with the we have a lot of customers in PDRA Pro Nitrous, so they're doing great. Oh my God, setting records. We have Ricky Smith that won the championship in PDRA. We have great customers like Tommy Franklin, Jimmy Sakovich, John Camp, Bankston. There's so many guys, but we can't thank them enough for being a part of our crew, UC team. So thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, you mentioned all these race-winning, drivers, and I think over the years you've built up this brand, this unbelievable brand. How did you do it?
A lot of work. Yeah. But we we grew up in that. You know, back in the day, I look at Danny. You know, I think of the old days, but we'd go to the junkyard get a motor.
Yeah.
We didn't buy. You couldn't buy a dark block. We raced together. Me and Richard Maskins raced together. Nobody thought about where this thing would go. You know. We bought a junkyard motor, tore it apart, tore into it, and that's what we raced. So we started all the stuff you guys are working with now. I guarantee you we had our hands on it, developing it between the whole crew. I kind of call us the old guys now. But
Yeah.
we all worked on stuff. You know, Danny made the first shaft rocker. Joe and his oil pan stuff, and just a lot of it. You know, it's hard to believe where it's come to now. Now you can go buy the parts. So if you pick the correct parts, or we can help you, you can get there.
Yeah. Is there still, I'm curious, is there still that camaraderie among competitors? Is it changed? I mean, obviously you race with these guys and then you branched off and kind of did your different things. Is there still that sense of camaraderie in the industry, or is it different today?
No, I think the group that I work with, I call them my guys, you know. It's Richard Maskins, Danny Jessel, just those guys. We race together. We do have that mutual respect. But there are some that we raced against in the old days that were kind of the so-so guys, you know, not really run that good. But they've paid attention to their business. They've done well. And I kind of look back and say, man, that guy couldn't even qualify when we were racing. So it can all be done. Just get at it, hard work, you can do it. But we do have a little group that, one of Richard Maskin's favorite sayings is, we'll be talking about something, Pat, can he crew chief a pro stock car? That's his kind of gauge.
Yeah.
You know, so we kind of look at that. But because we're, you know, grew up from the beginning of it till now, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Talking about the brand, you know, and Lizzy, I know that you represent, you know, Musi Racing Engines and, you know, Musi Enterprises, and you run the company and everything like that. Is that something that you think about in terms of, how do I build this brand? Is it just you guys? I mean, is that something that you put any sort of emphasis into?
It's basically family owned. We're just like a family business. He's the mastermind behind everything. So, I mean, I'm just there holding the fort. I mean, my mom's there. We're all working together, trying to get stuff done. So, yeah, it's just like a family business. Yeah. I'm trying to do everything I can to. Everything's all about media now. So, like Facebook and Snapchat and all this stuff. So everyone's moving up to that level. I'm getting him on it. He's kind of old school, so it's kind of a new thing. So I'm trying to make the company get, I don't know how to explain it, like move forward a little bit, future-wise, you know.
Yeah.
Just nowadays, like media stuff, you know, progressing in that sort of matter.
How big a part of your business is that? Is that a major part of marketing yourselves and building that brand, or?
I think so. I think not just our company. I think for all the companies out there. So, I mean, Facebook just blows up. If we do a post or something like of our motors for sale, we actually have Will, our sales guy. He's been posting up like if we have a motor for sale, like, or a customer wants to trade in their engine, we post it on Facebook, and it just blows up. Or, you know, we get messages, phone calls. So. It's great. I think it's a great way, and we actually started using Racing Junk as well, and it's pretty good. I mean, it helps. It helps our customers too if they want to, you know, move up to get another piece and trade in their old stuff and get it out the door. It's helpful. I think so. Yeah. Right
on. Does it take a lot of time? Does it take a lot of resources? Do you do it in house? How do you run your whole social media campaign?
We just do it at the shop when we can, basically,
Mike Carpenter is a big
part. Mike Carpenter, actually, from Drag Illustrated, he's been very helpful. He's always come into the shop, and we talk about doing ads in Drag Illustrated, you know, like recent wins, put in this and that, like all kinds of stuff. So he's been really helpful, even with just like taking pictures at the shop of engines and, you know, press releases and everything like that. Drag Illustrated is a pretty awesome magazine, so a lot of interesting stuff in there, but it keeps it like, I love it. I actually do. I really, really love it. It's my favorite magazine.
Hey, now.
No, it is. I don't know. Maybe not.
No.
Not yet.
So Pat, I recently, I was at your shop earlier in the year, and you were telling me how, business has changed a lot, and I remember you mentioned, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you said you're doing a lot of mapping these days, and I'm curious if you can kind of take us through and talk about how your business has really evolved over the years, and what are you doing now that you didn't think you'd be doing 10, 15 years ago?
We're building for some pretty competitive teams now. We're at the top of our game in the Pro Mod deal.
Yeah.
Ricky came on board about 3 years ago. We raced against each other, known each other forever, but he's won 2 NHRA championships since we've been with him, and the PDRA now. So we've got some really good racers all the way down. The whole group at PDRA I can't say enough about.
Yeah.
Jimmy Sakovic, he's probably had his best year, he'll tell you that. So we try to give them the best we can give them. Unfortunately, sometimes there's a lot more tooth in the engine, but right now, I feel like we're at the top of the game in our Pro Mod, but what we're gonna try to go after this year really hard is a sportsman business.
Is that right?
I think we're missing the boat. I think guys are a little intimidated thinking, well, he wants to sell a $120,000 engine. He doesn't want to sell a $15,000 engine, but Will has been doing that part of it, taking the phone calls. He's a bracket racer himself. That's why we brought him on board, and we're going to go after it hard.
Yeah.
I mean hard. I mean, I look at it like if I was out there and I could buy the engine for the same price, if I can get the guy that's building a $120,000 engine, his people putting it together, me kind of picking out the parts, I think I'd rather go there if it was me, So we're really going to get after that market hard. You'll see a lot of ad campaigns over the winter.
Is that right?
We're already working on some spec stuff, some project stuff.
So how do you prioritize between maybe something that's a little bit smaller ticket versus, like you said, the big jobs?
We prioritize it all.
Yeah.
We will put people on as we need them if we get to the sportsman deal. That's just all the way I've been. Yeah. One thing about me from racing, I understand a guy racing needs his engine. Where some of the other shops, they get in shop jail, I call it. So, guys, racers don't like that, and you got to have parts to be able to service these things. The Pro Mod deal was, you got to have $6,000 crankshaft sitting on the shelf. You can't tell a guy, oh, your crank is cracked. You can't race for 6 months or 3 months or whatever it is. So
Yeah.
we've always been good at that. I don't think we've ever let anybody down.
No.
And we'll do the same thing with the sportsman guys.
Yeah, it's funny. We had somebody from our website write in, and they had a question, and I wanted to pose that to you. And it said, with Pat Musi and his experience with fuel injection on Pro Mod cars, do you feel that this has put you in a prime position to help NHRA Pro Stock racers now to a greater degree?
Oh boy.
Not my question. So. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna kind of stay away from that deal, see where it goes. But here's the upside to it. And I told Vic Edelbrock, we run his fuel injection, and we work with Graham at EFI. I hooked those two guys up together. I've been running it since '96. Now it's the best thing since sliced bread. When I ran it, I got laughed at, but that's okay. But I think we'll see the funnel down effect from the Pro Stock deal.
Is that right?
I'm really not interested. It's not my kind of deal, even though I come from Pro Stock, but I'm going to kind of watch and see what happens. But what I'm looking to get into, and the last guys that are out there resisting are the sportsman guys.
Yeah.
But we can make it easy because you can buy an engine, we can give you the fuel injection, give you the map, and you just go hit the starter button and go run it. Yeah. And there ain't many shops can do that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, don't get me wrong, if you want a carburetor motor, we'll give it to you, but we are gonna push. We have a sportsman fuel injection box and harness. So you could buy a 565 with a throttle body and race it like your street car. Walk up to it, fire it up, and go. We've proved that it'll run on a throttle stop. My brother was runner-up first time out at Summer Nationals with it.
I think it makes it more consistent for tops, bracket racing and stuff like that. I raced it for 2 years in Top Sportsman, and it was just like driving a car on the street or something, you can just idle in while you're staging, and it runs numbers consistently. Yeah, I liked it. It was pretty good.
And I think now everybody's got computer literate.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it scared me to death when I first did it 20 years ago. You know, I couldn't even turn the computer on. You make yourself learn. If you can run an MSD today, power grid, you can run the FI. Because we're going to give you the basics. Yeah. You're going to have a base map. We'll have tech. We have, it's called Team Viewer. I can go, if you can get a Wi-Fi signal, I can go and actually tune your car from my house. Yeah. I've done it. I've done it for the Middle East, actually put a tune-up in their car and send them down the racetrack. Wow. So it's come a long way, and now we need to get the sportsman guys to look at it. I'm telling you, it makes the driving easier for them. It's just the whole deal is better.
Yeah. So you mentioned bringing on new people as needed, and I'm curious, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. What do you look for when you are looking to bring on new people? You mentioned you've got a new, fairly new hire over here, and we were talking about some of the younger folks coming up, and you mentioned being in a good spot, in Mooresville, obviously making that a little bit easier. But how do you find good people?
It's tough. I could spot them. My guy Robert, that's been with me 30 years, the Swede, he'll spot them in the first day because I'm running around the shop, and he'll come to me and he'll say, "He's not going to make it." So we can figure it out pretty quick. You know, but the work ethic, it's what it is, and they have to have interest in what they're doing, and we're willing to put a little training in them, but honestly, we're not going to waste our time if I see I'm pretty good at picking them out. Like I said, my other guys are, but we've been fortunate to find some really good people down here. Yeah. Have a really good cylinder head guy. We have a good block guy. So it's been good. Now, I will tell you this. Everybody said, well, it's NASCAR country, and there's plenty of guys that are out of work down there. Those guys are spoiled. They come in, I want to make 3 figures. Well, you ain't making it here. Yeah. I'm not saying you can't get there, but what did you do? Yeah. I was a valve stem keeper inspector. Yeah. Come on. We're running a business here. Yeah. We need to make money at the end of the day. We need to keep everybody's salary coming. They're spending their sponsors' money. It's a different deal. They gotta, and they're kind of realizing that, and once they settle down, realize they're not gonna make that kind of money, they come around, and we've got some decent guys.
Yeah. So you started out obviously racing, and Lizzy, now you're tearing it up on the track. Are you gonna follow the same path as your dad, or where's your future going?
Oh man, well, like I said, I grew up around it. My best memories was probably him racing the Pro Street days. Yeah. Those were fun. I just remember like me and my sister just being around the track. We just all over the place, but I remember being taken out of school numerous of times, going to races and stuff. Yeah, I just been around it so much. But I don't know, growing up watching him race, I got inspired majorly, and I just knew it was in my blood. To be honest with you, I actually was gonna get into like art and fashion design stuff, but it didn't come. It's just I knew what I wanted to do. It was just there. It's in me. So I just, I was racing juniors at the age 8. Did it on and off. I didn't like do a full, back-to-back season or something like that, because we always went racing with him. And so, as the years went on, 2012 I started racing Top Sportsman with 80-year-old, and now it's PDRA. It's a whole deal. But anyway, I started racing that, and had a little rough start in the beginning, but I take it all as a learning experience, and I think I don't know. It's incredible where it is right now, where I'm at. I have a great teacher. I didn't go to school or anything, so I just listened to everything he told me to do and just went on with it. Yeah. So time went on, and I guess, now 2014 I got into Pro Nitrous, and Frank Brandao is the car owner. He's from Curacao. I actually drove the car he raced, and the one that he won that NHRA Pro Mod race, which is pretty cool to race a car that he raced. So I thought that was pretty neat. Yeah. So I did actually pretty good for my first year in Pro Nitrous. Ended up number 3 in the points. We set some speed records, I guess. Changed now, but Then we moved on in 2015. Frank Brandao decided to get a new car, the Dodge Dart, and had some new car blues with that thing. That thing, like the Darts, if you see it in person, they're totally, I mean, they're crazy aerodynamic. I mean, it's so laid back. Got in that car and, you know, I was like, oh, I feel pretty good until I got on the track. I mean, when that thing launched, I couldn't see nothing. It was just the windshield was so crazy, narrow back. I had to be pushed up in the seat. That still wasn't enough. Half of the season in, Ricky Smith got on board and helped us out again with the chassis. He got that thing from A to B, but he got in the car. What did he tell you?
Oh, he said, don't tell Lizzy, but I can't see shit out of that thing.
Oh, jeez.
we knew we had a little work to do then, so it's kind of easy. She's a new driver. She knows not to take us the wrong way. It's just the way it is, you know. She didn't know what to exactly tell us, and you always have that doubt. Well, maybe she's just not used to the car, but the car needed some work. It was the first one-off deal, and we got it right.
Yeah, yeah.
And by the
so
way,
half
you
of the season.
did get the speed record at the last race.
Yeah,
so
yeah, I know.
we got it.
Yeah, and won the last race. So hopefully we can keep that ball rolling in that direction.
Absolutely.
Which would be great. But you take the bad with the good with the bad. Just learn from it. So.
Yeah.
But I would like to follow in his footsteps, and you know, next year I want to run after the championship, so which would be pretty cool. But we got all our great customers, and I'm gonna tell you right now, customers come first. I don't care what anyone says. That's like our main priority. I'm like back burner all the time, so I just do what I gotta do, and that's it. So we don't give me anything better or whatever like that. Everyone gets the same, the same. So we give everyone the best of the best that we can. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. You know, you mentioned the sanctioning body, and Pat and I, you know, I remember you told me a little bit when I visited your shop about, you know, PRA and some of the things that you liked that they were doing, and how you were working with them and that sort of thing. What kind of a relationship should a business like yours have with the sanctioning body that they maybe run primarily in?
You need to support them. We need them for business. I mean, we're partners basically. I mean, that's where we sell our products. So if that's the arena you're going to be in, you need to support them all you can.
Yeah.
What I really like about the PDRA that I've tried forever, and now we're there. We run nitrous cars.
Yeah.
I could give a damn, and don't take this the wrong way, because I know there's some of you out there. I give a damn what a turbo car or a blower car runs, because I can't relate to it. I don't know what they have for power. I have no idea. Don't want to know. I know what my stuff makes. So if David Rear outruns me, he outruns me, I need to go to work. We all put our pants on the same way in the morning, and that's what I really like about it. It's like pro stock on nitrous, where I grew up from. This mixing power raters, I'm sorry guys, but I just not want that. Nobody's ever going to be happy. If we win, Ricky went 250 the next day. I called him. I said, Rick, you're getting the lead trophy. You're getting it tomorrow, or you're getting it. Sure enough, next day he got it, 50-pound trophy.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just not my kind of deal. I've never, pro stock, we didn't have a different combination come in. Everybody had the same stuff. So that's what I grew up doing, and that's what I really like about what she's doing. And as long as we get sponsorship, we can't afford to run it out of the business. We don't want to jeopardize our business, but we will keep racing. It looks like we've been fortunate to keep good sponsors and good people, and everybody helps out a little bit. It's all kind of a partnership.
So I've got a bunch of other questions here, but at this point I wanted to kind of open it up and see if anybody had a question. If you wanted to raise your hand and ask Pat and Lizzy here. Yes, sir, right there.
What are your thoughts or experience with the Motec M1?
We ran a little bit of it. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a processor. It all does the same deal. We're kind of comfortable. We've been working on our software in the EFI Tech box, which there's some confusion there. It's called an Edelbrock box because of my association with Edelbrock. But it's just private labeled through EFI. So it's as high-end as the Motec stuff. But it'll all work. If you want to start from ground zero, it's as good as what we have. I'll just tell you that. You know, it's all the same deal. It comes down to numbers. But if you're looking for a baseline, we have a library of maps. You come to me with an engine configuration, chances are we can get you damn close in a hurry rather than spending days on a dyno trying to get a base map and then go to the racetrack. So that's the advantage of our deal right now.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Oh, excuse me.
They're advertising that they have maps for every engine combination.
So do we. I'm sure they do, you know, they've done their homework, you know, but ours are kind of proven. I mean, they go up and down the racetrack. Lizzy's car made a total of 7 runs over 202. We never had a cylinder heads off it.
Oh, that was great.
Everywhere I looked in the pits, there were heads everywhere. So we've come a long way. We got a really, you know, we got our own software. It's ours. I get accused of sometimes, well, your map won't run in my box, same box. Well, that's, you want to run that, you're on your own. You know, we're trying to give you something that runs. You can tune it, you can change your nitrous, you can do everything you want to do. But we have our own, it's locked up pretty good. And M1 also has a lot of security stages where you can let them in different places. And that's something you'll find with the M1, not, you know, they got their deal, but Switzer, you have to kind of go through him from what I hear to get your tuning. I don't know what Rear does, if they sell them. We don't sell our tune-up. You get an engine, you get the tune-up. If you want a system, we're going to give you a tune-up for a basic deal, you know, but that's kind of what it's all about and how much time you want to spend on it, you know. But if it was me, if I saw a proven product, I'd probably start there, and then if I wanted to improve on it, I'd improve on it.
You had a question down here?
Yeah, for Pat and Lizzy there. When, as you were growing your business, when you were a smaller business, doing stuff with your buddies and everything like that, going into a bigger business, what were the biggest things you changed in the way you ran it from going from a small business to a big business?
A lot of it changed in Mooresville. We probably went up 300% when we got to Mooresville in gross, annual gross, you know. But we had to change a lot of things, accountants and inventory. You know, it's really a tough job. Like I said, keeping inventory there for all the engines, it's a different deal. But we're actually still a smaller, we only have a total of 9 employees. We do all that work. I guarantee you we could turn them Promont engines quicker than anybody can with more employees. But so you got to be efficient. You know, we still kept that because we used to have to do it all. We'd work till, what do you think, Dan, 3, 4 in the morning sometimes? Yeah, up or all night. We try not to do that anymore. And but we still keep pushing. You know, I tell my guys all the time, well, we got plenty of time. No, we don't. Anything could go wrong at any time. Pull that handle on a dyno and something happens, now we're out of days to get the thing ready. So just keep moving at a pace, you know, never slow down. It's been my kind of plan of how I do things.
What do you think, Lizzy? Same?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Curiously, you know, you talk about you know, small shop, relatively, you know, speaking, and I'm curious if do a lot of your people do they do 1 or 2 jobs? Like, do they have specific jobs that they do? Is everybody kind of trained in everything? How much multitasking and how many different hats does everybody wear? How do you manage that?
Right now we have specific guys. Like I said, we have a cylinder head guy who runs the whole cylinder shop.
Yeah.
Robert runs the assembly area. We have a block guy. And then I'll kind of, you know, walk around and pitch in. Like I said, I always warn my guys of this. Listen, see all these machines, any one of them I could run, so don't get too out of hand. I let them know that once in a while. If I got to hone a block, I'll hone a block if we get in a pinch. But
Yeah.
I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I've done enough of it. But, you know, I think having specific guys, not that they can't do some of the other stuff, but there's not a lot of guys like, and I hate to say it this way, but like me or like Danny or like the guys I raced against, Bob Good and Warren Johnson, you know, we drove the rigs to the racetrack, built our motors, unloaded them, worked on the car, raced them. Ricky's one of the few that does that, you know, but there's not a lot of guys out there that do that. But that's a good thing to get into, be able to do it all. Even though I realize in this era now, we can't do it. I can't do it all alone.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of different things to look at. But you should be able to, you need to know that car. A friend of mine told me there's something that stuck years ago. You need to know that car from the front bumper to the last wheelie bar. All of it. You need to know everything that's going on in that car if you want to be successful.
Yeah.
Look at it all. And I look a lot at drivers. I look a lot at the way they're staging and just a lot of things that I'll come back and report to her and transfer to her. And
Yeah.
so I'm not just standing up there a lot of times. I'm looking at a lot of things.
Yeah. Question for you, Lizzy, working with your dad. What is it like working in a family business with your dad, with your other family members? How do you put those into context?
Let
And
them know because they know. Can be pretty hectic sometimes.
Yeah.
Because we're always, like he says, keep going, pushing, getting things out the door, do this, do that. He's always like, if I have to make an invoice for a customer, he's like, have like a couple stacks of papers, like, all right, make this bill out, like, do this, can you order this for me? Like, it's always continuing, to do something. But hey, I'm thankful that we're busy. That's awesome. So why not? I mean, but it does get hectic, but it's all worth it in the end.
Yeah.
We got a lot of, right now, around this time, we get a lot of overseas shipments and orders. So like I just did 2 huge piles of parts. I mean, getting shipped over there. You got to make sure everything is right, all the paperwork, all this and that, pay attention to wire transfers and all that stuff. It can get a little crazy.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Sure,
so.
sure. Talking about that overseas business, obviously that's a massive part of what you do, or you've been doing it for the longest time. How did you build that up? How did you make
You
those
were the
contacts? And I know you started early, Pat.
I was still running Pro Street. They approached me, bought the last 69 Camaro I bought. We were the first one there. We went to Bahrain, made a run, no Christmas tree, no lights. We drew a chalk line, made a run. Turned out to be like 646 at the time or something like that. We're right down the racetrack. Next day we come back and raced. And those guys evolved from there. Then they had other sheiks that, went to Fulton at the time or Rear or whatever, so it became very competitive. But we were the first ones on the ground there.
Is that right?
Doing it. But made a lot of friends, a lot of contacts. But you got to remember, they can't get parts once you get there as easy as we can. So you got to make sure you send them the right stuff, send them enough spare parts if something happens. And we've been really good at that, really keeping them supplied. They haven't had any mishaps or not been able to race or anything. I mean, the one sheik there, KH, he's got a crazy guy, but calls us, a week?
Yeah.
He wants a new engine. I said, we don't have one. I got one done for Belushi. If you can tell Belushi you can have it, you can have it, but you got to deal with him. And he did, and we shipped that like literally 3 days after he called.
Is that right?
They do have one thing about them. They think we go to Home Depot and get this stuff.
Yeah. It don't work that way.
No.
Yeah.
No. So, but that's the name of the game. If you can keep them supplied, they're going to buy from you. But
Yeah.
they definitely have a competitiveness about them. But it's a different deal over there. Not too interested in going over there right now. But
Yeah, we'll keep you here for right now. Where else do you mentioned obviously Middle East. What are some other international markets where you see
we do a lot in Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done some Germany stuff, some Australia stuff, not a lot. But I drive a car for Frank. Actually, it's a King Kong 4. I just come back from match racing a turbo. But we do some stuff over there. But They're kind of our budget, you know what I'm saying? A lot of bracket racers and those guys, but we help a lot of guys. We ship a lot of parts over there. But the Caribbean's pretty, Puerto Rico, Aruba. You'd be surprised at how much racing is going on around the world.
Yeah.
I look at it and I'm like, I mean, there were, counting bikes at Curacao, there were 270 entries.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There's only 140,000 people on the island.
That's a lot of bikes.
insane,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So do you feel like an ambassador when you go over there? I mean, are you like the,
Oh,
you know,
forget it.
the racing?
Curacao, we
Yeah.
made a pretty good impact there. Yeah, I did. I come in immigration, they just,
They wave you through.
that once in a while, they'll tell me, why don't you just get a damn citizenship here? But it's good. It's just good getting to see different racing,
Yeah.
helping those guys out. They really got their heart in it. They like to race. They do a lot. For what they have to work with, they do a lot. They really do.
Yeah.
So I like that.
So going back to the business just for a second here, I'm curious, and this is kind of a, you know, take it wherever you want to, but what's the biggest challenge you guys have in today's business climate, today's racing world? What's the biggest challenge for your business? What do you spend sleepless nights on, if you have any?
Right now, we're trying to overcome, like I said, getting the sportsman guys to take us seriously that we want to do that stuff.
Yeah.
So we got to market that. We're trying to figure out ways to market it, get some pieces out there, because they think we're not going to give them the attention we're going to give a guy that's spending $120,000. But at the end of the day, you guys are all racing. We're here for you. We think we can do a better job than some of the other ones, or as good as some of the other ones, and try to give you a good product. And we're there for you. We'll service you. You know, that's what we're. So you'll see a big push out of Musi Engines now for the sportsman ranks.
Yeah. What do you think, Lizzy?
Yeah, that's pretty much I was thinking while you asked the question. So
Yeah.
the whole sportsman deal.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many of them out there, and I mean, it's awesome racing. I love it. It's actually, it's such a competitive class, so
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Right on. Question, yes, sir.
What gave you the incentive and courage to start injection molding?
Funny story, Mike from NOS, you know, same deal, you know, he started when we started. He said one day, it just came up in a conversation, I was in California, and he said, what do you think about fuel injection? I looked at him, what are you talking about? He said, well, we got this guy, Harold Martin, that we gave some fuel injection stuff, and he's never got it to run. We got another system, would you like to try it? Yeah, I'll try it. You know me. I try anything. You come in the door with your, can I tell that story?
I think you need to tell it.
Daddy comes pulling up in his little Blazer back then. Rotted out quarter panels and bolts, and what are you doing, Daddy? I got some shaft rockers. We got to try them. So he comes in and we're fitting them up. We ran them, and look what he's done with it from then. But so you know me. I'll try anything. Go ahead. Let's have at it. So I tried it. You know, the first go around, here's what happened. Harold comes to dyno the thing, and it went so-so, kind of went okay. But we're going to a streetcar race, Bowling Green, Kentucky. And I go to get in the computer to make a change on a timer. I'm locked out. I mean locked out on my laptop. Oh, I call him up. He said, well, that's the way it is. You can't get in my program. I said, well, I'm taking it off then. Well, I guess that's what you're going to do. You're going to take it off. So as the screen would come on, he made it out that it was his stuff. You know, everybody's kind of got their own marketing deal. So I'm looking, and it kept popping up, EFI Technologies, Torrance, California. So I Google it, I find him. And Jamie Wagner, till we're friends to this day, happens to pick up the phone. He works for Howie now, but he worked at Edelbrock, worked at EFI. He answers the phone, and I tell him, and he's telling the story, and he starts laughing. He said, take it easy, relax. We got you. He sent me a code. You know, back then it was a key that would stick into the computer, was attached to the ECU. Sent me a key. From then on, I never looked back. I ran it. We ran as good as the carburetors to start with. I never looked back. Honestly, never looked back, Dan. Just stayed with it, and glad I did it when I did it, because I was on it then, you know, and we've learned a lot since then. And I kind of feel, I hate to be, you know me, I'm not cocky, I don't have an ego, I just do what I do. I just want to win. But we kind of forced everybody in ProMod to put fuel injection on. I don't care what they say. You know, they might say they got their own deal and it's better and it's this and it's that. And we've seen them come and we've seen hood scoops shoot off. And end of the day, we had it. They didn't. Ricky Smith, funny story. That's how I got Ricky. He helped me with the Stratus when I went out. We went to Vegas for the first race. We lost. I think I went red second round or something. So we're having dinner, and he's out there at the table, and I'm here. He says, you know something, you'd have a pretty good hot rod if you took that damn fuel injection off. I said, I'll tell you what, buddy. Let's see where it goes. Let's see who calls who. So he's trying to run the carburetor deal and just killing the thing, killing it. We're making laps, 590s, he's going 6.0s. I get this phone call. Ricky's funny, you know, when he says real quiet, he says, all right, what do I have to do to get that shit on my phone? It's the exact word, sorry guys. But, and he never looked back. He'd tell you right now, if he was in this room, he'd tell you if he had to go back to carburetors, he'd quit. That's how, on a nitrous engine, and how big the displacement is, it'd be impossible. So we feel kind of good about that we brought it in. Now look, NASCAR went to it, Pro Stock, so the sportsman ranks are just primed for it. They just gotta trust us a little bit. And I tell all of them, you don't like it, we'll give you a carburetor, take the fuel injection back. How much better of a deal can you get? So that'll be some of the marketing you'll see in the ads you'll see.
Another question? Yes, sir.
What kind of percentages do you work off? If you're selling an engine for $100,000, how much would parts be in that engine? What kind of percentages do you work off?
We try to make minimum 30%. You have to on an engine. A little more than that. You see, we're kind of unique because we do our own intake, our own fuel injection, our own plumbing. We don't have to go to a nitrous company. We don't have to go. We have our own injection, our own wire
Build
harness.
our own in-house.
Build our own manifolds in-house. So that's kind of unique with us, the whole engine. Where I hear now, if you buy a rear, you buy a long block, then you got to go to Switzer, buy the manifold, and I don't want that. You buy the whole package, you know, and even some of the other guys will send a manifold out to get it plumbed for the nitrous. We do it all there, so that's some profits that's built in for us because we do it in-house. We built, since Mooresville, 39 of the big motor manifolds. That's 39 engines with that manifold on it. So.
Are you going to apply the same percentages to the sportsman engines? Because the margins get tighter.
The margins get tighter. You have to do your homework. Yeah, no, we won't be able to. We'll be competitive. We look at what's out there. But, you know, it's funny you say that. Me and Will, first day, he said, man, we're not there. I said, Will, there's two ways they're advertising. They're advertising it for $15,000. Then you call up and you start adding all these options. So do we want to advertise so we can get the phone to ring and then get them on the phone and explain to them, look, you need a Jessel belt, not a timing chain. What are you thinking? Running a timing chain in this area? But, you know, some guys just want that, so we have to do it. But all we can do is be there to tell them, look, this is what we're going to give you. Call your other, do your other shopping, find out what you're getting. We find that a lot in the sportsman deal, right? Well, I mean, that was the first day you learned. What are you getting for $15,000, or what are you getting for $20,000 with all the good pieces? So we do find that a lot, that guys shop around, think they're getting it for $1,000 less. They're missing something. It all comes down. We buy as deep as anybody can buy. We can get them together, but I think we can give you a better part. So we will be competitive, trust me.
Another question? Yes.
My name's Nick. I'm a graduate from the University of Northwestern Ohio. I'm looking racing industry and the shops and racing. I've had the opportunity to work with Joe Lacona a little bit. What advice would you give to me as far as going out there and looking for jobs, you know, in shops like yours, stuff like that?
Trying to get with a shop that's doing well, number one, first. Make sure they're not going to keep you as a floor sweeper forever. You know, but sometimes I swept floors. John Hoffman's shop, I stayed there forever. You know, I just did what I had to do. Clean chips up, clean machines. That's how I learned my trade, you know. But you got to get in there. Some guys just want to learn too fast. Take your time, but pick a good shop that is competitive. So you're not starting a foot behind, you know. Just be in a good shop. If you can get a good shop, try to pick a good shop. And if you have to maybe take a little less money at first because you're in a better shop, that's what you need to do. I think, talking to Will, we talked for a long time before he came to work for us, but I think he basically called us because he knew we were on top of our game. He could bring something to the table. I saw what I saw in him. He saw what he saw in us. And he wanted to be involved in a good business, you know. And so look at that. Look at where you're going. Don't get stuck in something that nobody will ever hear of what you're doing, you know. So it's hard. It's hard to get your foot in the door, but do your homework. Try to get in I'd say number one deal would be get in a good place if you can. And like I said, if you got to put up with washing parts to start with, that's what you need to do.
So I got a question for Lizzy on this one, and I always like this one because everybody's answer is different, and maybe that's what's fun about it. But I always get asked about the work-life balance, and how do you balance between the hours that you put in on the track and the shop, and you know, having a personal life in addition to your business life. How do you balance that? Is that doable in this business? Is it impossible?
This is my day-to-day life. You want to know? Monday through Friday, go to shop. Go 9 o'clock till 6. Mm-hmm. And then I go to gym. Then I go home. And then I wake up in the morning, go to shop, go to gym, then go home. And then Monday through Friday. Sometimes I'll come in on the weekends if, I don't know, like during the race season, I come help work on the race car, whatever, clean it, do what I got to do. And when race season starts, we get maybe like 2 races a month, maybe about, you say? About that. And then, we work, he says, race car only on the weekends. You work on it. So that's what we do. So yeah. I don't have to, I normally, like, my priority is like the shot. I don't go out much. Like, I really don't. I know I hate to say. I just don't. Like, I want to wake up on time, you know, go in the shop, do what I got to do, and this is a priority for me, so it's...
Yeah. Was that something, Pat, when you got started, that you were full bore, you know?
Yeah, my buddies, they'd be out drinking all night. I'd be in the shop, taking around, you know, it's just... Yeah. But I liked what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know, but... and you got to sacrifice. If you're going to race a car, you could run a business and still have a life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But you race a car, there are some things you got to give up. If you want to race that car and be dedicated, be good at it, you know.
Yeah.
Ricky's one of the ones, he'll call me on a Sunday, where are you? I'm at the shop. Where are you? I'm at the shop.
Yeah.
Just a couple of weeks ago, I'm plumbing a manifold. I almost come out of my shoes because I'm the only one in the building.
You would be going on holidays.
He comes walking in, yo, what's going on? What are you doing? Yeah. I need to mic up some pistons, and you know, so here, that's just the way they are. This guy, 6 o'clock in the morning, he's 5 o'clock, right? Just what we've done our whole life, I guess.
Yeah. You'll even go in on holidays too.
I'll go in on.
Now we know where to find you.
Yeah.
My family knows through the years. Once in a while, I may get a phone call, just in case so-and-so's getting married and this is the day. So,
that's it.
It's just the way it is. It's a lot of hours, you know, but yeah. I wouldn't take any of it back.
No.
The only way you know how.
Definitely
Yeah.
worth it, I think.
So we have time for 1 or 2 more questions. Yes, sir.
Do you get paid for every job before you ship it?
Yes. Now, I should kind of And so there are a few that we have, I mean, that we will
That will
ship,
send
but
it,
they're
yeah.
established customers. You know, in the beginning, we gotta be, unfortunately, I tell this to everybody, the bad guys make it bad for the good guys. There's a lot of good people out there, but you gotta kind of establish a relationship. But Jim will tell you, I'll ship his engine, I don't care. He'll just send me a check when he wants to. But there's not a lot of guys like that, you know, so. But you'll learn your customers, you know what I'm saying? But we do, even though we get paid, one of the things we try as hard as we can. They have a problem, we're gonna stand behind it. We'll even go a little bit farther and fix it for him. If he's done something wrong, we'll try to tell him, we'll work with him. We really try, I mean, look, through the years, there's been a couple, I don't care what you do, you can give them, I don't know what you can give them, you're not gonna make them happy. But we really do try, honestly, really do try. That's important in having a business and keeping your name up and keeping it strong.
Yes, sir.
Hey Pat, thinking about doing extreme things with engines in the modern engines, have you got anything that would equate taking an iron block and milling out the water cooling system to shave off 35 pounds?
Oh, we've done that. We've done that about 40 years ago. We could buy better stuff now.
Yeah. I saw a hand. Yes, sir.
In your business with technology, like you've got CNC technology and robotics everywhere now, where do you see technology going in your business?
We are one of the shops. I mean, some of my competitors have CNC equipment, but
You got the old
being
school
in Mooresville, there are so many guys with equipment that we can just go to and job it out, give them a job, get it cheaper rather than having an employee. That's not the answer to your question, but that's why we don't have a lot of CNC equipment. But I see it grow. Look where it's gone in 10 years. So imagine 10 years from now. I see it growing constantly. I never thought we could have a billet head that could flow water. Think about it. You got to put a water jacket, weld plates in it, you know, and I think it's only going to get better. Everything's going to get better. You know, none of us are stopping on development. None of us that I know of. So I don't know where the equipment people are at right now. Danny has probably more CNC equipment like Edelbrock and those companies. They probably know how the machines are developing. But from what I hear, they're getting better and better and better.
Okay. Well, hey guys, listen, we're unfortunately out of time. So I wanted to thank you all for being here. I would definitely thank our special guests, Lizzy and Pat Musi.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, guys.
If you have any more questions for them,
Yeah,
you'll
we're here if you
yeah,
need something.
they'll be here. Edelbrock booth, come see them. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.